You don't go anywhere in Somalia without protection. Every inch of this African country is fought over by rival warlords. As if all this wasn't enough, America now accuses Somalia of offering shelter to Al-Qaeda fighters after their defeat in Afghanistan. 10 years of civil war have reduced Somalia to anarchy and rubble. Now the US are threatening with airstrikes. Will Somalia become Africa's Afghanistan? I'd hitched a lift on a plane taking cloth to Mogadishu, the capital of Somalia. At first glance, this Islamic country, just a short ride from the Middle East, seems a dream for terrorists. But this airport is just amazing. We just landed. It's just a piece of beach. There's no immigration, no passport control. You just get off the plane, walk out, and you're in Somalia. A car from my hotel was waiting. This one? They'd brought protection, 2 pickups full of bodyguards.
They sell milk also, this woman.
So you have a special hotel?
Yes.
Package tour that includes 10 gunmen for the price of a room, and you don't get a cocktail in the beginning, but you get picked up by the airport with 10 gunmen.
Yes, with 10 gunmen, and also, they are more than 10.
10 years ago, the Civil War brought famine, and American troops came as peacekeepers. The Americans left after 19 soldiers were killed in Mogadishu, a story told in the Hollywood film Black Hawk Down. The war continues. These buildings are full of freelance gunmen.
So the only reason they don't want money from us is because we've got our own militia?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
My bodyguards took me to the headquarters of Somalia's main bank, Al Barakat. It was under siege. 3/4 of Somalis survive on money sent by family working abroad, but they can't get their cash. The Americans have frozen the bank's assets. They say they have intelligence it's helped to fund Osama bin Laden. This is the building that actually used to be the Al Barakat Bank, and their computers that are sitting around, no business being done, the whole company is being closed down. Upstairs I found 2 of the bank's directors. Their names are on America's wanted list of terrorists. This is a United States government list about companies who have links to terrorist organizations, Bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, and you probably know that both your names are actually on this list. Abdullahi Hussein Kahir said the Americans should produce their evidence. Mr. Kahir is saying that the American accusations are absolutely unfounded and not true. Abbas Abdi Ali said they were the victims of injustice. He is inviting the US government over and saying, if you have any questions, why don't you come to us and investigate our affairs, and we'll show you that we're clean. So we're going to meet the shareholders now. Last year, businesses that don't involve killing and kidnapping began to make a comeback. All that's at an end. These traders told me, if the bank doesn't reopen, our businesses are finished.
He said, my children are starving.
So you had $3,040. So these gentlemen are just giving me their savings certificates, and they're saying those were the entire savings that they had, and they're saying the United States government has stolen our money. We can't feed our children now. This was all the money we had and we relied on. The US believes the closure of Al Barakat has hurt Al-Qaeda. It's also killed the faint hope of normality returning to Somalia. The people here are saying this is just like the Hiroshima bomb that was sent by the Americans. The Americans bombed Hiroshima, everybody there died, and they said, well, this is the equivalent. It's like a financial bomb. They're withholding our funds, and now we're all going to die. The effect is the same. This part of town is run by the government. They control southern Mogadishu and not much more. Just where I was sitting was a bullet hole.
They kidnapped foreign people in this car?
Yeah. They are working UNICEF.
UNICEF people. How many people did they kidnap?
They kidnapped 13 people, but 9 were.
They kidnapped 9 foreigners?
Yeah, and 4 Somali.
And 4 Somali people?
The government hasn't paid its officials for 4 months. But a Saudi Arabian charity had stepped in with money for a competition to find out which schoolboys could recite the Quran most beautifully. The Minister for Religion, Mohammed Omar Farah, was on hand to judge the winners. At stake, prizes, each worth about £2. America doesn't recognize the minister's government. They claim it's penetrated by members of Al-Ittihad, a Somali group with links to Al-Qaeda. I asked if Al-Qaeda was using its links with Al-Ittihad to regroup on government territory. We wouldn't allow that, he said. You've seen our problems. The last thing we need is bombing.
It's another request for help and saying, please don't be aggressive, but instead come and cooperate with us.
We gave a lift to the 7-year-old boy we'd filmed. Mohammed had won a prize. The organizer said he'd be robbed if he had to walk home. His mother, Rukia, invited me back for supper.
My name is Rukia.
Okay, yes. Okay, I'm Juliana. Okay. Okay.
I returned with some bread and fish. Rukia's husband worked far away in northern Somalia. Times were hard.
So Rukia is actually one of the women who's been really affected by the closure of Al-Barakat and the closure of all the money remittance offices, because her husband used to send her money through that money transfer company, but ever since they've been closed, you say you haven't been able to get any money from him for how many months? 2 months?
She and her 3 children were frightened they'd starve. We showed her a picture of bin Laden. The Somali government has banned publication of his picture here.
Have you ever seen his picture?
No.
Never?
She's never seen him.
Never seen him.
The next morning I dashed to the beach that serves as Mogadishu's port. I'd heard fishermen had spotted an American invasion fleet. I soon realized it wasn't true. But this man told me an aircraft had just passed overhead. It's choosing targets for the bombers, he said. The whole place was in turmoil.
This country is just such a rumor mill at the moment. This morning there was a very small plane that was flying over the port, and immediately people were talking about possible US flights and possible US attacks, and everybody just lives in a state of fear at the moment.
A boat started to unload. By chance it was named the Osama bin Laden.
We've just been asked to leave. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but they said we should just leave now.
The port's owners had panicked when they saw the boat's name. They feared our pictures would bring American bombs.
He's our enemy, America. We don't like bullshit. We are fighting. Maybe he's coming here.
The warlord who rules the north of Mogadishu had a score to settle. He wanted to show me proof that his old enemy, the government, was sheltering terrorists. At the edge of his territory, his gunmen were waiting.
We've just picked up a second carload of militia who are ruling the north of Mogadishu, and that's an area where our militia wouldn't be respected, so we need 2 carloads of gunmen now.
More joined us. Even by Somali standards, the warlord Musa Sudi Yalaho has a fearsome reputation.
This place actually feels really, really different from all the other places that we've visited. It really does feel like a warlord's camp. There's so much militia milling around everywhere, heavy, heavy guns, and it's just got a really funny feel about it.
He fancied himself as the man to lead Somalia's version of the Northern Alliance.
Musa Sudi is just saying in 1995, when the Americans left Mogadishu, they met 3 leaders, and he was actually the last leader who was met by the Americans and talked to before they left Mogadishu. And he's saying now he would like to be the first leader who the Americans meet again, and he would like to cooperate with them further.
In fact, he wanted the US military to help his forces attack the Somali government in the south of the city.
Musa Sudi is saying that the current government is in such shambles because it's got terrorist links and because it is actually financed from Afghanistan.
As for proof, he pulled out an American newspaper article.
Musa Sudi just said, well, the Americans always know more about this, and the American journalists say that there is fundamentalism in Somalia, so it must be right. That's the base of his allegations against the current government. And he doesn't really want to say much more about it. He wants to leave it at quoting the US source, and I think this is the end of the interview.
Suddenly I heard voices speaking English.
Hello.
But it wasn't the CIA, just a UN delegation checking if it was safe for its workers to return to Musa Sudi's territory.
From United Nations Security Board.
But was the CIA on the ground elsewhere in Somalia? They would certainly find eager allies and other warlords willing to talk up terrorism in return for added firepower.
We're going to the cathedral, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to the cathedral, yes.
Is that the place where they attacked the other journalists?
Yeah, last 2 weeks.
So are we going to be okay?
Yeah, now it's okay. Yeah. We're understanding each other.
I hope you gave them enough money for today.
Early in the Civil War, the cathedral was systematically demolished. It's one place where you can see evidence of Islam at its most militant. In this part of town, no one's in charge. The cathedral was destroyed by Al-Ittihad, the Islamic group the US government fears might offer shelter to Al-Qaeda.
This has destroyed the group of Al-Ittihad last 5 years or 6 years.
So the Muslim fundamentalists, Al-Ittihad,
yeah, that's what they say,
it.
what they told me, yes.
It wasn't enough to tear down the walls. They even blasted bullets into Christ on the cross. I asked if there were Al-Ittihad gunmen around I could talk to. They said not anymore. It seemed 4 years ago Al-Ittihad lost its territory and its members scattered to the winds. It was in no position to help Al-Qaeda refugees. Then it was time to go.
They've just admitted to not controlling the area 100%, even these guys we're now with and who we've paid, so we just said it's better if we get out of here. But what I'd heard about Al-Ittihad's collapse and its inability to help Al-Qaeda chimed with what experts had told me before I went into Somalia. In this country, you have to be ready for the unexpected. We've just had a complete change of plans. There was an incident at the market today, and one of our security guards actually shot somebody's eye out. So we're really worried about retaliation by the victim's clan, and we've decided to leave town for a little while and try and come back when the whole thing has calmed down, the situation has calmed down and we're safer. We felt the quicker we got out of town, the better. They suggested that we left for the town of Mareykanka. It had been an Al-Ittihad stronghold, but for the moment the government controlled it. George.
Yeah.
Mareykanka, can you show that to me on the map?
Yeah. Mareykanka.
Where it is?
Yes, here is Mareykanka.
Oh, so it's quite a big place.
Yeah. Yeah, the road is very, very rough, really. It's very, very bad. It's destroyed completely, yes.
Mareykanka has a reputation as a bastion of fundamentalism. I soon heard something I hadn't heard in Mogadishu.
Fuck the past Americans, we don't like, we don't need.
One of the guys there was just shouting Osama bin Laden. So can we just see which one it was, because I just want to know why he was shouting it.
Thank you, Americans come, we will kill one by one.
What was that?
If Americans come in our country, we will kill them one by one, because we remember the thousands of countries that they have killed in Somalia in 1993. And we are against them, and we are supporting Osama bin Laden, because he's a real Muslim, and we are not supporting the Arab leaders.
I knew that a leading fundamentalist intellectual lived here. I got directions to the school he runs. Sheikh Salim told me he and many others in Mareykanka wanted a true Islamic State. But he said neither the town nor Somalia was a haven for terrorists. He doesn't know of any terrorists in Somalia, and he would like the Americans to come and present proof that there are such people here. It's a question of retaliation. The Americans got defeated in the early 90s, and now they have a bill to settle, a score to settle. But Sheikh Salim has an opponent in his struggle for the Islamic soul of the town. I'd arranged to meet her. Ah! Her name is Stalina Rouge. Hi, are you Stalina?
Yes, nice to meet you.
And you? She runs this orphanage with the help of an Italian aid agency. Boys and girls play football, dance and sing. Fundamentalists don't like it. A while back, someone threw a grenade into the compound. Starlene doesn't believe that her opponents shelter terrorists. They get money from the Middle East, she said, but they are using it to take over the town's schools. Because most Western organizations have pulled out, they face little opposition.
Somalis are destroyed. They are completely down. There is no job, there is no hope. So everyone with a plan coming here can have success. That is why I think that if extremists will come with projects and with intention, they will succeed, because there is no another alternative.
Stalin sent me to a struggling Quranic school she and her Italian backers support. The owner confided a local fundamentalist had offered him a lot of cash to change allegiance. The fundamentalists, he said, were determined people. He says they're waging a war on who they call infidels. They're funded by Saudi Arabian countries, the Gulf countries, and he says they're undermining Somali society with intolerance. There's a battle for hearts and minds going on here. The fundamentalists are outspending their opponents. For the moment, they have the upper hand. News came that it was safe for us to return to Mogadishu. $700 in blood money had changed hands. It was Friday and President Abdi Qasim had been praying in the mosque. There were fresh rumors that the Americans were about to bomb. I had an invitation to tea with the president and his cabinet. All of them dismissed the idea that there were Al-Qaeda terrorists in Somalia, although some of the ministers spoke wistfully of the $25 million on bin Laden's head.
Good evening. How are you?
The president arrived.
Very well. Somali.
Yes.
Somali president.
I'm getting more Somali every day.
Yes, yes. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I see even these tattoos.
He wanted to explain his conviction that any U.S. military action will backfire.
If anyone tries to harm this country, every sort of radicalization will take place. Every kind of extremist will come pretending to help the Somalis because of this or that religion and doing his own business, you see, in the meantime. So we don't want to see that all. We want to see a friendly hand from the Europeans, from the West as a whole, and from the international community.
At our hotel, the owner was doing what he does every Friday, handing out arms to the poor. I'd found no evidence that this country is a true haven for the Al-Qaeda network. But Somalia is the sort of place which might one day become a base for terrorism. We can't afford to ignore its problems. No one ever said the war against terrorism would be easy. Girls play football and sing.